We got this.
And just a reminder, mute yourself, please, if you're not talking, just because there's a little bit of feedback.
Oh, I have to get the PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
My glasses on.
That was pretty amazing. We had 207 people on that webinar.
Great.
That just really shows the level of engagement you guys did with those teachers. It's really amazing. I mean, all of their comments, if you were looking at them, were astoundingly positive. And some of them want to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, why not? Sure. That's something else. As Laura's getting this up, you know, most of you have been with us for 2 years. Some of you joined us the second year. And Christy and Val, oh boy, this has been a heavy lift. This was a big grant on a short timeline that required more than we were sure we could do, to be quite honest with you. So we owe you big time. More than a stipend, man, we just owe you for life. Because you guys saved it. You really did. I mean, North Carolina, oh my God, you met your numbers. You like 100% participation in every single one. Florida, same thing, met and exceeded. So California, you guys charged on. We had a hard time getting stay and stick, and so we really appreciate all of that. Plus the hard part of actually doing civil conversations and role plays, which are challenging, and then getting other people to do it and like it. So thank you for sure. So that was the zillion thanks slide. We'll just go ahead. Oh my goodness. And I did thank Val and Christy. Amazing. And I did mean what I said, you know, on the public webinar. We don't know what's going to happen next, this grant or other grants. But I will tell you that, you know, we would love to partner with you on anything. You know, so let's have a meeting about that. There may be some things that we can do together and go forward. So I'll start researching and see what we can come up with. Doesn't necessarily have to be for this project, it could be for something else. Getting a little bit of feedback.
I think it might be Christine.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting kicked out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, that's not okay that you got kicked out.
All right, let me turn it off.
All right,
Poor Christine.
I just muted her.
Okay, well, hopefully she'll be able to find us again. So we want to reflect a little bit with you like we do with the other teachers, and you could just, you know, you can either use the chat or just talk. We just really have 3 questions for you. What did you get out of this for yourself?
And feel free to talk. If you don't want to chat, you just unmute yourself.
I'll go. I think it's Liz here. I think it was great to share the awesome work that you guys do. I've used your resources and done some of the different programs over the years. And it was great just to share those resources with teachers, because I know it seems like there's so much craziness and so much focus on the other subjects, but to show teachers here were some great resources and strategies that they can use was awesome. And it was great to also like crowdsource and brainstorm with teachers and get ideas that we could use also in our classroom. Some of them had some interesting ways that they would twist on things, so that was nice as well.
Gina says positive to work with.
Thanks, Liz.
I would just say that I thought it was just a challenge for, especially in the online portion of it, to respond to a lot of the different I guess, the responses that we received from teachers about their progress. I thought that was invigorating. It helped me to see the value in the strategies and how important it was for student progress and to enhance their ability to interact with each other on a civil level. And I thought that the responses from, sort of like what Liz just said, that the responses from other teachers and their work, the effort that they put into it, it's challenging as a teacher leader because it kind of pushes you forward as well as to have something substantive to interact with them on the level that they're operating on, especially those who are operating on a very high level. So it enhanced my own personal professional development. It's not just the strategy itself, but the interaction with those mutual.
Thank you, Abel. Oh, I like Jamie. Troubleshooting with teachers, some were skeptical, but we troubleshooted and it worked. I loved hearing them come back around and praise the process. That's amazing. We did see a lot on the discussion board and through teacher comments, and even on the earlier webinar, how they talked about you all as teacher leaders, sharing your own ups and downs with the strategies and with other things, and how you sort of conquered it. And you can't get that from us because we can go to your class and teach the lesson, but coming from you who are doing it, that means a lot. And you have huge credibility, 100% credibility.
Yeah, and I think that it makes it so authentic for the teachers. That's what I just saw over and over again on those discussion boards, especially for the online cohorts where I was really tracking it. That Avo, you and Regina both just provided such honest encouragement for those teachers to keep going.
The second question we have, and you can keep talking about the first one if you want, but we are interested in, was there a high point or a turning point in this for you? Do you need to unmute people?
No, they can unmute themselves. They've been doing it. Someone's writing on the PowerPoint though.
Probably Scott. He's scribbling on the PowerPoint.
I actually don't see a PowerPoint. I see a documents list where maybe you were trying to open a PowerPoint, but there's not one.
How about that? Let's try it again. That's my fault.
Yes, now I see it.
There we go.
Okay.
I would like to say, I think a high point was seeing the excitement of teachers. It's kind of like when your kids are getting it and they're like, oh my gosh, and they're jumping on board. That light bulb and aha and oh my gosh, I can't wait to try this. And then the second time meeting, how they talked about their successes where they're going to switch things up and learning a new strategy. I think those ahas and OMG moments from teachers was awesome and amazing. And one more thing on the last question, what did I get out of it? I liked how you guys value us as teacher leaders from participating in your program and how you selected us to go out and help share the awesomeness of your materials, that you valued us as a professional and gave us opportunity to grow as teachers with other teachers and as leaders. And I would just like to say thank you for that opportunity.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Laura, it looks like Laura Gonzalez shared your the same thoughts, that the process discovery for the teachers was pretty amazing. So that's cool.
Anyone else?
I'd like just to share the high point. I really appreciated the second meetings when we would introduce this and they would do it. Sometimes the teachers liked the materials when we were introducing them, but you could still see that they were a little bit skeptical about how it would actually work with students, whether or not the discussion protocols would work. They liked the materials and the controversy, but they all knew, okay, we're all adults, so let's all play nice. But they seemed unsure if whether or not their students would be able to play nice. But when we came back to debrief, all of them had really overwhelming positive feedback and felt really encouraged to try things again and to just be more experimental. We had not that they, I don't want to say that they were negative, but they were just skeptical sometimes about whether or not resources would actually translate to the classroom well, and then to see how all of this really did translate well for them was really exciting.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Leslie.
Kate. That's huge.
Especially from you, because I know you do a lot of stuff with other.
Can I jump in, or did I just mute myself?
You can jump in.
Yes.
Okay, hi everybody. So I want to talk about what I got out of this, and I had 4 points. The first being that I was exposed to a whole new group of innovative teachers, which I love, and a sort of fringe benefit or a side benefit was that many of them were my neighbors or in neighboring schools. And as you remember, Laura, or probably remember, we had problems having the first face-to-face at Kennedy High School. And so we did it at our neighboring middle school, a feeder school. And because of that sort of emergency, last minute change in plans, we actually established better relationships with the other social studies teachers at our feeder middle school. And that principal, Suzanne Blake, invited us to come back and really talk with their teachers about the skills that we want their students to have when they get to high school. So I was pleased. Not only did I meet a bunch of really new and interesting, innovative teachers, but I also made better connections with my neighboring teachers, which is really probably out of the scope of the grant, but really one of the better things that can happen from teacher-led leadership. And then I would say also it gave me a lot more conference presentations. I seem to have written down that I did 8 presentations for you in year 1, and I did 4 in year 2. And those presentations always lead to other opportunities for teacher leadership. Like I've been asked to do workshops for Glendale Unified and Laco and other neighboring school districts. So that's a nice plus where you get recognized for your area of quote unquote expertise. And then lastly, a thing I've noticed is I've seen a lot of the CRF teacher leaders, even ones that were not in my cohort, at other events like Hamilton and like Constitution Day and at CCSS and at Q Rockstar. So this has kind of reaffirmed for me is that, there's a core group of innovative teachers that are out there and they're really motivated to get PD that matters to them, and they're seizing multiple opportunities for that.
That's fantastic, Scott. That's great. On that note, a lot of you have been profiled highly. Avo has been profiled twice by the Gates Foundation for posting on their Facebook thing that they sent out. Liz and Avo, I believe, are going to go with WestEd, with Tracy, who is the director for the Center of Teaching and Learning, to Texas in December and do a presentation at a huge conference. Ben and Regina, we were told yesterday on our check-in call with Tracy that they're being featured in the next interview from WestEd. And that's not going to stop just because this grant is over. We're going to continue to shine a light on you guys because you're outstanding and you deserve it. And you have so much to share with the field. So if you haven't been profiled yet, stay tuned. You will be. So we've done some incredible stuff, and there are some great opportunities now and in the future where CRF, what we do with our family of teachers is we continue to work with you to promote you, and you deserve it. Anybody, what would you change if we were to do it all over again? Not that we will, but yeah. They'd have to pay us twice as much as pay you 3 times as much.
So I don't think that we experienced this in the first year, but and I'll just speak for Guilford, North Carolina, that I think that the second year, with it being spread out over the entire school year, allowed teachers to maybe disengage where they did not do that last year. And that's really the only key difference from the first year to the second year. So I would definitely encourage these kind of projects to be, tighter time frames.
Absolutely. I think we learned that lesson clearly.
And we were so surprised. I don't know if you all were surprised about it. But we were thinking, oh, this year will be nice and leisurely, teachers, because last year, if you recall, we got the grant in December, we met with you, and it was like, yeah, let's go. And so we were shocked, but it's a huge lesson learned.
Yes.
You're right. In fact, I'm wondering if next time around we do it in quarters. And the teacher could, sign up for 1 quarter or 2 quarters or 3 quarters or the whole year, but each learning cycle is 1 quarter and that's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and just to.
Online power school. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for that.
Christine has something. I think her hand's raised there.
Let's hear Christine.
Did you want to say something, Christine?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My phone keeps going in and out. It's been raining here for the last 4 hours, so. I raised my hand here too. Sorry. No, it was just a wonderful experience. The interaction I had with the other teachers was amazing. It definitely helped improve what I was doing in my classroom, and the students felt the topics were relevant. They used text evidence, and it just, as a teacher, it helped me to grow a lot.
That's great. Great. Anybody else on anything they might change if we did this again?
Can I just speak to one aspect of it, of the role play? I didn't hear, but I read that one of the teachers had mentioned if there would be a graphic organizer for the role play portion, role play strategy. I thought that was a good idea. Is there some way that we can add some more structure to the role play?
Sure.
We'll think about that and send some ideas out to you, all of you, and see what you guys think. I know a lot of you have a lot of expertise in that, more so than I do. And so we welcome that. We might have to do several kinds, one's for sort of a hearing model, and other one's for a new court model. And that's a great idea.
Anyone?
So the other thing, just before we move to this very last part, is, I'd love to keep the band together as much as possible. I know that, we've had webinars where Ben and Regina and Avo were doing things together, and Liz has done things with folks out of state, and we sort of crossed over lines. It started out where each pair of teacher leaders is going to work together with their cohort, but by necessity, we sort of crossed those lines. And that has been something really interesting to me, to see you all, some of you really reaching out to each other and sort of becoming a tribe. And so whatever ideas you have, for those of you that want to do that, let us do that with you. If you have ideas, if you want to have check-ins, if you want to have a virtual happy hour, I don't know. The other thing too that I thought about is, if we are funded to do this again, one thing I would do different is I would start this project out paying for everybody to come to LA. All the teacher leaders, Christy and Beth, we'll spend 2 days together, at a nice hotel. Those of you who are from California, we'll even put you up in a room and really come together, and then budget for that to happen again in the second year. As just a refresher and get together. So if we do get another grant, I'm definitely going to put a ton of capital in there, because I think we as a group, you all and us, I think we could do amazing things together, and the closer knit we become, the better. So that's what we have. I like you really kind of tribe and group dynamics. Yeah, exactly, Regina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Vegas.
Vegas
is cheaper.
Christy,
cheaper.
right there.
Christy's on it.
I'm in Vegas. We're going to Vegas. We're going to LA. Me and Christy Vegas.
I think it'd be cheaper than LA.
It would be cheaper.
Christy does all the stuff.
Yeah. I love it. Okay.
So just a few final things. West Ed was really excited that we got 100% participation and to Christy and Val for making that happen. We're hoping to get at least a third of our cohort teachers also completing their surveys so we can meet our goal on that. We'll let you know who has and hasn't completed the survey so you can follow up with your cohort teachers. Also, we did send out those light touch logs last week, and it included the cohort, your cohort activity as well as your light touch. Some of those I tried to put in what I could remember for your light touch activity, and some of it I left blank, so I will make sure I let you know. For example, if you wrote a BRIA, I'll come back to you just so you know, like, wow, I reached, I got 5,000 clicks on that BRIA that I helped write. I'll share that information with you once I get it from our tech guru here at CRF. And then as far as the cohort activities, Sarah spent a lot of time putting in what she thought, you had done. But obviously there's spaces there where you have contacted people and emailed and, phone calls or what have you. So you'll just have to, add that in yourself. Again, this is not an exact science, okay? Just guesstimate what you have done, but it's
Pick
not
one of those categories. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, it's not an exact science. I just want to make sure that teachers leaders have been communicating with your cohort teachers.
And that was why we boiled it down to a monthly thing rather than expecting you to log every single day you spent sending an email or whatever. So we tried to consolidate it so that you can just estimate from there.
And then there's a couple of you who still have the IPG post lessons to get back to us. I know Sarah will be following up with you of those who still need to return those in.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
Thanks for working so hard to get those in. I know it's been difficult, and I think the main thing, like I've said to some of you, is just making sure if you can, and if you need me to help, I'm happy to. Just making sure that you get a lesson in hand from the teachers before they split. We've got a little time to fill out the Google form, but just getting that lesson from the teacher who did the pre, so that we've got the before and after from the same person is really the key there.
There's Ben.
Ben and Regina, king and queen of the webinar. You guys may not know this, but they did a lot of webinars.
Yeah.
They did an online cohort of 70 people or something. And they did everything by webinar. So they introduced civil conversation. The recordings are on the T2T page. You should see them. I mean, they just rocked it out. Regina was like a mad woman in the chat. And got, just point after point. And then what blew me away.
Yeah.
Funny, intelligent, kept everybody's attention. People were staying on these webinars 20 minutes later.
To keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. But anyway.
I think the last one we had over 100 people on the last
Yeah,
one.
we did. Over 100.
So.
So we'll be sending you a little doodle for those of you that might want to help us out. We still have, this project doesn't officially end until the end of September. So we're going to have to do some accounting, figure out what our numbers are. We may need a couple of more webinars. People may want to contribute to a BRIA. Like I said, we're redoing this whole big curriculum this summer. And we would love some help with it here and there. So we'll send out a little doodle that's just sort of a menu of things you might be interested in helping with. It'll be an additional stipend outside of the one we're already going to give you. So watch for that. That'll come out probably Monday latest in your email. And then finally, like I said, our next thing, us meeting CRF, we'll need a little help from Christy and Val too. we gotta really look at the numbers. How many teachers participated in what? Hopefully, we're pretty much on target. We're going to be pulling stories together. We've already been pulling stories together that are amazing about your cohort teachers and the impact that they see this program having on student learning. And then WestEd, of course, is collecting the data from the flash surveys, when you took and when the teachers are going to take. We want to make sure that we share all of this with you. And so I'm thinking that we'll schedule a webinar in October or sooner, as soon as we get more information from WestEd, and share and celebrate all of these findings. And who knows, maybe we'll have a grant by then. We can fly y'all out here or meet up in Vegas. So this really isn't goodbye, because we are going to schedule something, because I think it's important that you all get the data that shows the impact of your work on this project. And let me tell you, it's going to be huge. Hugely. So that's it. We're going to start preparing and mailing out your stipends and letters. We probably will be sending letters beyond just your principals. So if you have, we're thinking your superintendents, but if there are other people who you think we should send a letter to about your work on this project, please do not be shy. Let us know who that is. And we'll be working with Christy and Val to do the letters for North Carolina and Florida, so that it's on double letterheads. And we love you guys. Yeah. And I'm kind of sad, to tell you the truth. I'm happy of the successes, but I'm really sad because this has been such an experience working with you all.
Yeah. No, it's really been a privilege to get to see the work you've done with the teachers in your cohorts. And I think, at a time when, the conversation around the country is so uncivil, and the teaching profession continues to be undervalued and underrespected. You guys just have reminded me all the time about what this craft is and what it takes to do it well, and what that means for kids. So, really, thank you. So much respect from us for what you guys are doing all the time.
And I don't know if Christy and Val, if you want to say anything, you don't have to. I don't know if you want to add anything, but we, again, just appreciate every single one of you for your participation. As we know, it hasn't been easy, but we do appreciate and really think the results have been worth it. All right. If there's any questions, we'll be on for a second, but we appreciate you guys taking the time to be here tonight.
Yeah, and anything else, obviously know where to track us down if you think of anything else. But yeah, enjoy a much deserved, I hope, restful summer
We'll see you
for all of you, and we'll see you real soon.
in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Bye.